everyone, it's Bob Perkins with AAISP's Inside Sales Studio. Another Monday Morning Sales Minute. I'm here with special guest Darryl Praill, who's the Chief Marketing Officer at VanillaSoft. Darryl, how are you?
Bob, I am well. Yourself, my good friend?
I'm doing good. You and I talk a lot about these non-personalized emails, these spam emails. Just this morning, I got an in-mail through LinkedIn. I'm thinking, hey, this could be somebody cool. And immediately there's this templated pitch to get 15 minutes on my calendar, and I just deleted it. I know you have some great thoughts about this that you'd like to share with the viewers, so all yours.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. It's almost an epidemic. A couple of things going on that front. So if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, it's the cliche, anybody who's a target, a prospect. So Bob has budget. I have budget. Because of that, we get targeted a lot by sales reps trying to build up their book of business, which is all perfectly legit. Yep. We get it. We understand it. But the challenge is everybody's using just out of the box, unpersonalized templates. And they're cliche and they're formulaic. Hey, can I have 15 minutes on your calendar? Hey, can we get together and talk about your quarterly objectives? And the list goes on. And contextually, that actually is not too bad if I have a relationship with you. So like Bob, you and I have a relationship on LinkedIn. It's been established. We've encouraged each other. We've shared information with each other. If you were to send me that, I would instantly go, right on, no problem, sign me up. But what it is we're getting, exactly to your point, we're getting unsolicited in-mails that say, hey, can I have 15 minutes from someone I've never heard of before? And that's the issue. I was just on, and because what happens is we just delete it exactly like you just did, because I don't know you. You have no value. And better off, when I go and look at your profile, I don't see any redeeming value that would suggest you'd be worth spending time with. So we just did a webinar, VanillaSoft and Vengresso, so myself and Mario Martinez. And we had about 600 people online talking about this very issue. And the advice we gave everybody was to stop using those templates and instead use the approach of what Mario says is PVC, personalized, value add, call to action. So you can look at my profile and you can quickly determine based on what I'm posting, based on what I have listed on my profile, how to personalize it. But let's say I'm not very active and there's not enough meat on the bones there for you to personalize it. And you can look at my role. I'm a chief marketing officer. Yep. Based on your product and what you sell. What does a chief marketing officer typically have as far as a pain or an issue? So you personalize it to the recipient. And then you add a little value add, something that's in it for them, something that will make their life easier. And then you finally have that call to action. Now, maybe it's at 15-minute, but the reality is it might be here, check out this piece of content. Yeah. So you're not immediately asking for it. You're simply adding value, and you're going to build up to that. And when you do that, you're going to see a dramatic increase in people reacting positively to your pitches, as opposed to probably what you're experiencing now.
Yeah, that's so true. Now let's role play a little bit here, right? So let's say I'm a VP of sales or inside sales, and you notice that I went to a chapter meeting in Boston.
Yeah.
Right? How might you send me an in-mail knowing that I might have an interest in your product, your technology?
It'd be something like, hey, Bob, I see you went to a recent chapter meeting in Boston. VanillaSoft is a global sponsor of the AAISP, and I feel your pain. I'm glad to see you're getting educated. It's been our experience that heads of sales often struggle with one of three things: productivity, hitting their numbers, or responding to leads fast enough. Yeah. Therefore, I suggest you check out this white paper we have on how to increase your productivity with minimal investment. Here you go. I personalized it. I gave you some value add, and then I gave you a call to action.
I love the personalization, because the personalization, when you said Boston chapter meeting, I gave you mentally the permission to keep talking to me, or for me to keep reading the in-mail.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you recognize that we're kind of in the same tribe, right? Yeah. Therefore, we're in the same community, so it's okay. You're a peer of mine, and therefore, I will always give my peer more time of day than I will a stranger.
Listen, I love it. You just came up with a new thing we can talk about at the conferences. Find the tribe. Find the tribe, right? You find the tribe, you can relate.
That's what it's all about. And that's the personalization, right? So stop doing those out of the box, sterile, predictable, formulaic pitches. Lazy. You nailed it. Lazy. You want to personalize, you want to add some value, and then do your call to action. And by the way, play the long game. You don't need that demo right now. Connect with me, and then maybe in 2 weeks or a month, then send the ask for the demo. I'll probably give it to you then.
This is great. Speaking of the buyer, the prospect, the person that engages or deletes emails from salespeople, you and I are going to be talking about that very thing at the Leadership Summit. Give us a sneak peek of what the research we're going to share.
So I love this. So at the Leadership Summit in Chicago with the AISP, their big annual show, we're going to be on stage, Bob and I together, reviewing some initial findings in the study that we've done collectively, both with the AISP and with another organization across the pond, and VanillaSoft and our core research. And we've reached out to the buyers. So in other words, we all know what sellers say. Hey, you need to make 6 calls or 8 calls or 10 calls. Hey, you need to do it within an hour. I mean, we know the buyer's point of view, but we know the seller's point of view, but what does the buyer want? If the buyer signs up on your site for a free trial or to download a piece of content, when does the buyer expect you to call them? Or does the buyer have a preference on how you reach out to them? In other words, get out of the seller's point of view and get into the buyer's mind, because they're the ones with the budget. So let's try to accommodate them if possible. So we're totally flipping things around, and we're going to give some initial findings on how the buyer views the buying process.
You mean how the buyer wants to be sold to is even more important than what the manager tells the rep to do? I love it.
They control it, right? They control the budget. So if you understand where the buyer is coming from, you play nice with them, they'll play nice with you.
All right, this is going to be great. We will see you all out at the Leadership Summit in April in Chicago. Darryl, thanks a lot, and everyone, good selling. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.